Forgive me, guys, alright? Because I'm a little sick. I think I might have caught a parasite. Get it? Parasite. Because I'm talking about Parasite. And it, you're no fun. On a serious note, I thought now was a better time than ever to review Parasite because if you missed the Oscars, Parasite took home 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. I was so happy. I couldn't have been more happy for them to win. But I was kind of nervous for Bong Joon-ho because he was talking about drinking so much. I was afraid one of his livers were going to fizzle out. But I guess he made it through it. A poor family con their way into becoming the servants of a rich family, but their easy life gets complicated when their deception is threatened with exposure. So this film came out months ago. A lot of people reviewed it. It was getting high praise from the beginning. It's got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's just one that never came to a theater near me, and I never had any opportunity to watch it. So I stayed clear of spoilers and waited until it came out on Blu-ray. And as soon as it was released, I watched it. And let me just say, I was completely blown away by this film. I'll be honest with you, I watch a lot of different genres of films, from like animated films to black and white. But the one genre that I have not really explored too deeply is foreign films. Is the ones with subtitles. Just because I always thought it was something that was taboo. Like, okay, I don't want to read while I'm watching a movie. I don't want to have to look at words instead of paying attention to the screen and see what's going on. So I've kind of been hesitant to really dive deep into that genre of film. But after seeing Parasite, after listening to Bong Joon-ho say that once you look past that 1-inch barrier that is subtitles, you open yourself to a whole new world of films. I'm really intrigued to see all the other films that are out there that I just didn't give a chance before. I saw Roma last year. I loved it. And I saw Parasite. But other than that, I really haven't seen any, just because I haven't taken the time to. Now I know how possibly amazing these films could be. Now that I know that, I'm going to be one that's going to seek out these films and reach out and watch these, because there is a whole other world of amazing films that have subtitles that are just as good if you give them a chance. And Parasite is a brilliant example of that. I absolutely love this film from the first frame to the very end. This is one that tackles social issues. It has comedy. It has thrilling elements. It has so many things that are intertwined into this one film that there's something to love there for everybody. This is one that, since it came out, I've not heard one bad thing about this movie, because it truly appeals to such a wide range of people. And I love that about a film. When a film can connect to so many different people in so many different ways, that's what you want. That's how you know you're successful and that you've created a great story. This film deals heavily with social class, especially considering that the two main families that this film focuses on are at completely opposite ends of the spectrum. You have the one family that the main story is told from their perspective. They're down in the dumps. They've fallen on hard times. They live at a crappy apartment in the bottom of the city. They're scrounging for every bit of money they can get just to make ends meet, and they continue to have all these things happen to them in a negative way, and they always run into hard times. And then you have the other family that lives in the nicest city, in the nicest house, that is rich, has a ton of money, and is constantly getting tons of opportunities presented to them throughout the film. And I love how they focus on that. Each of these families really contrast each other. One thing they beautifully did and described throughout this film is that the way a rich family can see something, the poor family can look at that one thing and think of it as the complete opposite way. Meaning, to, like, if it's storming outside, the people in the nice house, the rich people, could see it as a very relaxing night, something to look at, a beautiful view. While the other family, it means that their house is going to get flooded and that they're going to have to move out because all their stuff is ruined and their house is going to pretty much get demolished. It brilliantly shows how simple little things can look so differently to two different types of families. The family that is rich or the family that is poor. This film is very smart with how it writes the characters, in the sense that in this kind of case, how you're being told the story from the poor people's perspective, you'd think that the rich people are the enemies, but no. How he writes all these characters, they're all very likable. There's not anybody that you really can't stand, that you want to go away, or that you just really don't like. They're all made out to be likable. And also, what I respect is that these poor people, they didn't make them out to seem stupid. They didn't make them out to be like they deserved to be poor, that they had no brains, that they didn't have anything going for them. No, they wrote these characters to be very smart, to the fact where the story is these guys are slowly making their way into working for this rich family. They're getting out the old workers and becoming the new workers and scamming these people where they don't even know that they're related, but they're working together in this house. They're doing all these little things to make their way into a wealthy environment and get more opportunities that otherwise they'd never be presented. And just overall, it's very, very smart writing. While this film kind of starts out upbeat and has a lot of things going for it, the humor is very common and there and present. And it shows the relationship that these poor folks are having with the rich people and how they actually have pretty good chemistry. But as time goes on, it starts to shift and the mood and tone starts to change into a more negative way, because even though these rich people and poor people don't really have any beef with each other, the poor folks are starting to realize some things about them that are really starting to tick them off. That they have something against poor people with how they smell, with how they act, with the clothes they wear, because, I mean, they're less fortunate than these people. They don't have all the resources. And so they come across this rich family talking about them behind their back and realizing things about them that they really don't care for. And over time, you see certain characters really let that get under their skin and start to shift their viewpoint of this family. And emotions change rapidly throughout, especially after about halfway through this movie. If it wasn't for the brilliant screenplay and direction from Bong Joon-ho, this film wouldn't have worked as well. Every little detail is so precise and so perfectly placed that this film is virtually flawless. When it comes to the writing of the characters, everyone is fleshed out. Everyone has a purpose and a meaning, and you care somewhat about each character. The direction and the way that they have certain characters act and walk and go about doing certain things, and even the movement of everybody is perfect, is very well thought out. The production design is great. This house is it's a character within itself. The house they designed for this rich family is so architecturally beautiful, so architecturally perfect, and it's got so many elements and secret hideouts and different things hidden in this house that really plays a part into the story that adds so many elements. And you wouldn't think that just a thing, an object, would add so much depth to a story, but it does. This house is just as much of a character as the actors in the film. The cinematography is amazing in this film as well. Every shot is impeccable, and it's very, very simple. This film is not trying to be over the top, not trying to show you anything that's like mind-blowing, but it just works for the story, and every little thing it did was perfect. It's subtle, but brilliant. Technically speaking, this film is perfect. From an acting and story standpoint, this is perfect. I can really not find any flaws with Parasite. The last act of this film is one of the best I've seen in, honestly, I don't know how long. This is where I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to go too much into details, but all I'll say is this film sets itself up to be one thing. You're going along. You're getting close with all these characters. You're really already invested into the story and the direction they're going. And then all of a sudden they decide to switch it up completely. And a lot of times that could be really ineffective and be kind of weird, because you're like, okay, you've spent all this time building up momentum in this way, but then now you're going to change the story. But in this way, it works perfectly. And the twists and turns that this reveals in the last act is unpredictable. You never expect it. The things that are revealed within the characters, the stories, the backstory, every little bit of it is perfect. You wouldn't ever expect it to happen. But once you see it, it all makes sense. Everything is uncovered, and all the pieces are put together, and you're just sitting there with your jaw on the floor because you never would have thought this is the direction it was going, but it works in every single way. It goes from being a light-hearted film, a film about family, a film about making your way through certain circumstances and finding these opportunities for yourself, into a complete thriller. There was some horror elements in there even, I'll tell you that. It was an action thriller drama. There was so much going on in that last act that could have been jumbled and messy, but it all worked for the purpose of the story and all played out in a way that I couldn't have imagined being any better than it actually was. The dark comedy, the family dynamic, the social satire, all made this film out to be the best of 2019 in my film. I think technically speaking, from a story standpoint, every way that you look at this film, it is virtually flawless. There's nothing I can say that I didn't like about this movie. I had so much fun watching this film, and it's one that I've already went back and revisited multiple times. If you haven't seen Parasite, please go check it out. I definitely believe it was deserving of Best Picture. I didn't think it happened, but when I saw it, my mind was blown and I was in pure joy. I think Bong Joon-ho put his heart and soul in this film, and he deserved every single bit of credit he got for it. Guys, I'm going to give Parasite an A+. This is truly one of the best movies I've ever seen, and like I said, please go see it. If you either haven't gotten the opportunity yet, or you didn't know if you wanted to give it a shot, as somebody coming from not really being into subtitles and foreign films, going into this film, how much I loved it, please take my recommendation, go watch this film, and leave your thoughts down below, as if you liked it or didn't. Just tell me all your thoughts down in the comments, because I truly think there's not going to be many people that are going to find something they didn't like about this movie, because in my opinion, it's perfect. Guys, as always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to turn on those bell notifications to get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching, thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.